What's up guys? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get your first 1,000 subscribers. This is probably going to be the hardest 1,000 that you get, but I'm going to show you how to not only grow your following to 1,000, but also to get sales in the process. So keep watching. The foundation for your growth on Instagram or any social media platform is going to be your content. If your content is not educating your audience, if it's not entertaining your audience, or bringing them some sort of value, you're going to struggle with growth because people aren't going to see a reason to follow you. In general, if you are providing a product, you want to create content that's centered around priming your audience to want to buy that product. So for example, if you were a jewelry business, you would show how great the jewelry looked on people and how it was styled differently, or how it instantly elevated an outfit, or however that looks like. But if you were a service business, on the other hand, let's say you were a psychologist, then you would give a whole bunch of psychology tips and tips to manage anxiety or stress or whatever you commonly help your patients with. And this would help you attract more of those same patients onto your social media page. Now, the third type of content is entertaining content, and this tends to be funny and lighthearted and full of jokes that make people laugh and want to watch more. And you can incorporate entertaining content whether you have a product-based business or a service-based business. However, it's going to look different for every business, and how you incorporate that, or if you want to incorporate that, is going to depend on you. My third tip for you is to make sure that you're creating content that's centered around topics you actually know about. It's very common in certain industries, especially my industry, for people to create content around topics that they're not actually familiar with. And the downfall of this is people who do know more than you or have had a different experience are going to know instantly that you aren't sure what you're talking about. So if you're creating educational type content, I highly suggest you're creating content around topics that you are familiar with, that you are confident to talk about. Because if you don't, then a lot of people are going to see through that, and you're going to hurt your growth because of that as well. Next, you want to prioritize consistency. If you are inconsistent with your audience and you show up every couple months, don't expect somebody to buy from you because of that. You need to make sure that you're ongoingly nurturing your audience and building your community. You can't just pop up whenever you feel like it, or whenever there's a holiday, or whatever that looks like for you. You need to make sure that you're showing up on a weekly basis, preferably daily basis. If you're creating your own content, I personally like to set up branded templates on Canva, and that way I'm actually creating content that is very fast and efficient to use. To give you an example, this is what my templates look like for my business. And then I also create all of my hashtags and captions in a free software called Airtable. I do have a video where I walk you through how to do that, and you can watch that video here. Now, finally, I want to give you some tips on how you can actually go out and manually get sales and followers. Yes, you're gonna need to do this on a brand new account. Don't expect to just open a social media account and have a whole bunch of DMs of people begging to buy your product or service. It does take some work, especially in the beginning. This will probably be the hardest it will ever be for you, because you're trying to figure out how to be consistent, what type of content works best for your audience, and you're focusing on building your audience at the same time. So it can be really overwhelming when you start out. So if you're feeling that way, understand that that's totally normal. So there are multiple ways that you can not only grow your following, but also increase your sales at the same time. So I'm gonna walk you through each of these different steps. So one of the things that you can do is actually get influencers to work with you for free. And so this is kind of a multi-step process, so I'm gonna go over it really quick, but I do have 2 videos here that will go a little bit more in depth on how you can script your DMs to them, and also how you can begin working with them for free and kind of what to look out for. So working with influencers for free is extremely easy and highly recommended if you are able to do a free trial, or if you have a free sample to give your clients. This is by far the best way to get sales, and you can actually get sales quite rapidly. I had a client that ended up getting 10 new customers and 2 referrals within 1 week of doing this strategy of just offering people that were in their target demographic just free samples of their product. I highly recommend you try it if your business falls into those categories of either offering a free trial or a free sample. If your business does not fall into that category, what you want to do is you want to make your offering as low risk as possible. For example, when I used to run my jewelry store business, what I would do is I would go and find fashion influencers and I would say, hey, I'm looking to find brand ambassadors for my product or service. I would like to give you 20% off your first purchase, and I'm gonna give you free delivery. If you aren't 100% satisfied with this product, or you don't enjoy it, or it doesn't live up to your standards in any way, I'm going to pay for the return shipping and I will give you a full refund. And what this did was it made it incredibly low risk for the influencer. So if they really enjoyed the product, then they got a discounted price, they didn't pay shipping. So the cost was very low for them to begin with. And then on top of that, if they didn't like it, there was no final sale or final purchase or anything on it, because what I really wanted from them was to actually like my company. I wanted them to be like, oh my gosh, the shipping was so fast, the customer service was really good, the product was really great, she was really friendly with us. That's what I was looking for, because I wanted them to brag about my company to their following. And so if you're running a product-based business, this can be a lot more expensive than what it is for a service business, depending on how your company is structured. Like I said, if you're able to offer free samples, then the costs aren't that high. But if you're having to send out product and have them try it, and you're having to accept returns, things like that, it can be quite costly upfront. That kind of comes with the territory of having a product-based business, and you might not be able to avoid that. Alternatively, you can also pay influencers to endorse your product. I want you to be careful with doing this only because if an influencer has a large following but they have a low engagement, those are usually indicators that their audience isn't that plugged into their content. So you may be thinking, oh my gosh, my content's going to be seen by, 1 million people. But if only 63 people are actually viewing that content and seeing it in their feed, then that's only 63 people you're marketing to. So you need to be careful with how you're approaching it. And it's also very important that that influencer has a community that would want your product or service. The influencer should be highly knowledgeable about their sales statistics and their target audience. When they work with other brands and businesses, they should know what tends to perform well, what tends to not perform well. They should be very educated on what's going on in their community, because it's their community. So right off the bat, they should know whether your business would be a good fit for them or not. The advantage of having paid influencer deals is that you have a lot more control over the branding and how the content is depicted and what that influencer says about your product or service. Next, you can also DM to get sales directly. So instead of DMing people in order to do brand and influencer partnerships, you can actually just approach people that are in your target audience and just ask them if they would be interested in your product or service. This converts on average between 5 to 25%. So once again, depending on how your company is structured, it will convert a lot higher if you're doing free trials or free samples. So that's why I'm really stressing that in this video. But if you're just doing a cold outreach of 20%, you can usually get about a 5% conversion rate from that alone, which isn't too bad. Next, engaging with people on other accounts that have a similar target audience to yours can be a really great way of getting followers and actually building relationships, which can be really helpful because either they will lead to an increase in your engagement on your Instagram page, or it will actually lead to sales themselves. So if you are able to like and comment on other pages and really get your account name out there when people are reading through comments, it can be quite helpful. And you want to make sure that you are putting out thoughtful comments that people are actually going to want to read and respond to. That's extremely important. Don't just do emojis that don't contribute value to that community or audience. because you're not going to get as high of a response. Finally, you can also run ads. I do not suggest ads if you have no idea how to get your next customer. The reason for this is because ads can take a while to optimize. So if you have no money coming in, then you're gonna eat up your budget pretty quick without a return. And that can just be a stressful situation to put yourself in. So you know your unique situation. If you have a part-time or full-time job and that's really not an issue for you, then you can probably just jump right into ads and it will save you a lot of time and effort, but it will cost you a lot of money up front, or it can cost you a lot of money up front. These are my top tips for you for growing your account to over 1,000 followers. If you're struggling with it, leave a comment below and I'm happy to take a look at your page for you. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button as well, and I hope to see you next Sunday. Before you go, I want to invite you to my private Facebook group where you will be able to get access to free, highly valuable 1 to 2 hour workshops on your most requested marketing topics, including the 9 most crucial aspects of a marketing plan, how to conduct target market research surveys to perfect your marketing messaging, and how to create social media content fast and efficiently by using social media post templates, and how to schedule your captions and hashtags in free softwares like Airtable and Later. You will learn what types of content perform best for your business and how to approach your marketing even if you're in a small niche business. You will learn 4 complete methods of selling online, including how to run ads effectively and how to set up retargeting for your ads, and which call to actions bring the most sales. You will also learn how to sell directly through Instagram's DMs and how to sell with Facebook groups. You will also discover how your business can use the power of email marketing to increase your reviews and referrals. And all of this will be covered over the course of 5 weeks, plus monthly meetups where you can choose the topics you want to learn more about. Click the description box below to sign up, and I hope to see you there.